Right, in the meantime we'll do the performance. We've got a zero fuel weight of 204.4, 40 tons of fuel is 218.4. Is correct. We'll take at the rate 1 or even 2 because that's a lot actually. And then assume of 50 degrees. 87.1 is good. Engine acceleration height, put 1000. Acceleration height 3000 in Italy. And thrust reduction 1500. Flaps 5. CG by PMDG. Then we'll take the speeds 148. So we'll set V2 148. LNAV, VNAV, track 348 and altitude 6000 feet. Pre-flight checklist.
Pre-flight checklist. Oxygen.
Tested.
Flight instruments.
Heading set, altimeter set.
Parking brake set. Fuel control switches cut off. Pre-flight checklist complete.
Perfect. Okay. Molto bene. So we're good for push and start. There's no ATC as far as I know. I'll double check one last time. Before start flow.
Roger. Recall engine shutdown. TCAS off.
Cancel ICAS.
TCAS clear. Ready for before start checklist.
I am ready for push as well. Before start checklist.
Before start checklist. Flight set door.
Closed and locked.
Passenger signs as required. MCP.
Set.
Takeoff speeds.
Set.
CDE pre-flight.
Completed.
Trim.
Set.
Taxi and takeoff refit.
Completed.
Beacon on. Before start checklist complete.
Cool. So he's gonna push us tail to the right, so to face kind of east, I think. Should be the right direction. Start right engine.
Starting engine number 2. Start valve open, engine 2, N2.
That's no good if it's buffering. It's maybe coming from me as well, I'm not really sure to tell the truth, but yeah, if it's buffering it's not great. As I said like a while back, my internet connection is I've upgraded it. It's twice the upload speed it used to be, so but there's so many factors, I guess, affecting the quality of the stream on the other end.
Starter cutout, engine 2.
Start left engine.
Start switch engaged, engine 1.
So he starts the
start valve open, engine 1, N2.
Start switch there on start, and then as soon as the N2 start rotating, bring in the fuel control switch. Parking brake set, stand by. Yeah, very good push, Mr. Push. Really nice push, right on the line, perfect.
Fuel flow, engine 1.
That's a shame if it stops every few seconds.
Unlocking gear.
Va bene.
Starter cutout, engine 1.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass speed removed.
Before taxi flow.
Okay. Recall ready for the checklist.
Flaps 5.
Flaps 5 selected.
Flight controls coming up. And check the radars.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
He's waving bye bye. Okay, we've got 2 good starts, so we're good. Before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Anti-ice.
Auto.
Recall.
Checked.
Auto brake, RTO. Flight controls.
Checked.
Ground equipment.
Clear.
Before taxi checklist complete.
Excelente. Where's the guy away? Whoa. Alright, looks like it's gone. Yeah, here it is. Va bene. Okay, cool. We can go. Ready for taxi flow.
Sure. Ready.
Excellent. So basically, it sets the runway turn-off lights and the taxi lights. On the 737, the captain kind of used to taxi and put all the strobes, all the lights on by himself. But on the 777, it's the other way around. So we'll take this line. Takeoff review flow.
Yes, Captain. Flaps as required. Runway correct. V2 set. VFD and runway track correct. Initial altitude set. Trim set. FMC set, transponder set. I will do the checklist when the cabin is ready.
Good man. So now have a look at Malpensa. Now we've got the de-icing trucks as well, and the snow clearing vehicles as well in that corner. Actually, that's where you do the de-icing in Malpensa, in that corner, just before going onto the runway there. We can see the de-icing truck here, and the snow plow. Hello Jaxes, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well today. I'm just doing the first leg of the Ethiopian flight 703 that goes to Addis, but today is only the first leg from Malpensa to Fiumicino, and then the flight usually goes on to Addis Ababa. It's normally flown on 787, but there's no simulation for the 787, so I'll do it on the 200 on the 777-200 LR, which is fairly close, I guess, to the Dreamliner. So approaching the holding point, still no cabin ready for some reason. Before takeoff, checklist.
Before takeoff, checklist. Flaps.
5. Set.
Before takeoff, checklist complete.
For some reason, it always comes up with the status message back left, back right, and back FCV, I think, as well, and then it goes away. It's really strange the way it does that. So looking on the approach, there's nobody around. We didn't get the cabin ready, but we'll assume the cabin is ready. Runway entry flow.
Roger. Cabin crew prepare for takeoff.
Actually, we're supposed to go on 35 right. That would be helpful.
Approaching 35 left.
So we'll cross the runway here. We are all set up. We need the strobe lights and stuff to cross our runway, so that's all good. You can see in the background the start of the Alps. From Milan, it's actually quite interesting when you fly, for example, towards Switzerland and then onto Germany or like Scandinavia. You have to obviously overfly the Alps, and the terrain rises very, very quickly, so you need to keep a good rate of climb, and the better your rate of climb, the more quickly ATC can give you a direct towards the route. Otherwise you kind of need to circle around until you get to a decent altitude to kind of overfly. Right, we'll go towards Charlie Alpha. Wow. I didn't remember this turn being so sharp. But this is where the line is, so... Right, so that's runway 35 right. I could have gone from 35 left, but we plan on 35 right, so we'll go on 35 right. I guess. Man, it's been a long day for me, so please be lenient if I mess it up.
Approaching 3-5 right.
I still didn't get the cabin ready, by the way. Even after all this faffing about. Alright.
On runway 3-5 right.
Don't worry, I don't do that in the aircraft, I don't go Right, timing. Stand them up. Let's go. Hey, thank you very much for the follow, man. Gaming Panda, welcome on board, sir. 80 knots, hold. So obviously if there's an engine failure, then you need a sharpish right turn, because you can't really keep climbing straight ahead. Gear up.
Gear coming up. Gear up and locked.
Alright, so I'm gonna hand fly the departure just for a bit of fun. Hello Alex P1290. No, I didn't have takeoff clearance, but there's no ATC, so the takeoff clearance is for myself. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1 selected.
Flaps up.
Flaps coming up.
After takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear up. Flaps up. After takeoff checklist complete.
Thank you very much.
Gear already selected. Up skipper.
That's not what I said thank you. Anyway. Yeah, the joystick is a fairly old one. It's a joystick I've had for many years, many moons. It's a sidewinger, I think. It's still working very well. I don't need... yeah, that's it, Maeve, a sidewinger, yeah. I've had it for maybe 15 years or something, since I've started Flight Simulator. So yeah, it's I don't even have the CD to install it anymore, but it's still working. 10,000 climbing flow.
Okay. Seat belt sign on auto.
Seatbelt sign auto.
Fasten seatbelt signs auto.
Cool. So we'll go up to 33. It's a fairly short flight, don't really. I've got 33 up here as well, which is good. Yeah, there's no restrictions there. It's all above, which is good. As you can see, 777-200LR, fairly light, is climbing like a rocket. Alright, Theo. Oh, that was quite good fun. Flying around the departure there. Yeah, it still does the trick. I was actually amazed when I got my new setup, a new computer and stuff, that it's still it's with the USB, and you just plug it in, and Windows recognizes it, and it works fine. And yeah, so far so good. I don't want to jinx it, but it's doing well. So I've got obviously the, you know, the kind of turn left, turn right, the kind of joystick itself. But I've got also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons on the joystick itself, and then I've got also the throttle on the left hand side, and then 4 other buttons, so I can play around with the various buttons. And for example, on the joystick itself, where I've got the 5 buttons, I've got 1 button for braking, so I actually use the joystick like the kind of like finger, a bit like a trigger, you know. That's for the brake. It's actually like, when you look at the joystick from the back, it looks like a smiley face. So I would use the eyes as the trim up and trim down buttons. I've got that kind of panning button as well that I use for the easy dog views. So I've got this view there, that view left, and view right. So I can play with the views, at least the main views, with the joystick as well. There you can see on the ICAS here, I'm playing with the thrust as well. So I've got some sort of thrust lever on the joystick, which is quite cool when you fly manually. And then on the last 4 buttons, I've got the speed brake, I've got the gear, and I've got flap up and flap down. The flight is fairly short at the moment. ETA in about 20 and 14 in about 45 minutes. So it's just a short hop from Milan to Rome. Oh, hives. Yeah, you mean flying in real, or flying in the simulator from Atlanta to Madrid? Yeah, Atlanta to Madrid will be, I would guess, a good eastbound, a good 8 hours at least. Yeah, in the region of 8 hours. Or as a passenger. Yeah, 8 hours to get there, maybe 9 to get back, or maybe 7.5 to get there and 8.5 to come back. Yeah, crossing the pond will be nice. Maybe a little bit. Well, depends on the winds on the day, but to go to towards Spain, maybe a little bit further south, depending on the winds, I guess. But we'll be flying closer to the Azores. Yeah, and a Comfort Plus seat, it should be alright, I guess. I mean, I don't really know what Comfort seat is, but I would, from the name, I would understand that it's, you get a little bit more leg room, so it should be alright. It's important to have a little bit extra space. It makes life easier on these long flights. Yeah, your legs, you will be fine, I'm sure. They should be alright. The key is to kind of, you know, keep moving a little bit from time to time, do some movements to keep the blood flow going, and then from time to time, you know, take a walk around the cabin, just maybe just to go to the toilet for, like, you know, a couple of minutes, come back, get a bit of blood circulation. Yeah, Iceland is nice. Did you go to Keflavik? Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. It's a cool airport. We've got a little bit of traffic there. 2.3 above. I don't know if we go like this. It's probably too far to see him. Wow, that was bright. Yeah, I've got a good friend who's from Iceland. I've not had the chance to go, but it's yeah, it's so wild and yeah. That's it looks like a very nice place indeed. Right, so cruising along now. It's not gonna be very long in the cruise. It's a very short hop. I guess Ethiopian are just taking some passengers from Milan, then some in Rome as well, and then take everybody back to Addis. What was I doing? I was looking for the plates for the arrival charts in Fiumicino. I think it's a northwesterly wind today. So I think it's gonna be a runway 34. I've been a pilot for how long? That's a good question. It's been flying altogether maybe 15 years. Professionally about 11. Yeah. 11 years flying professionally. Yeah, it's a long time, man. Hey, thank you for the follow, Hives One. Welcome on board. Home for me is originally France. I've got also quite a few connections in the UK, so I'm kind of sitting in between. But a little bit more France. But yeah, that's kind of my my connection, so to speak. You're mentioning flying from Atlanta to Madrid. Are you from the States yourself? Oh, cool, Nashville. Excellent. I was on the trip to the States once. I think my suitcase ended up in Nashville. I was supposed to go to Indianapolis and I ended up in Nashville. Fortunately, the following day, the suitcase made it back to Indianapolis. Fun days.